Well, here we are. You feeling good? You ready?
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
good.
ready.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Everything You Love. I'm Rob Arnold, and with me today, the one and only Jim LaMarca. How are you, Jim?
I'm doing great. How about yourself, Rob?
I'm doing good, as always, man.
Yeah.
You know?
It's good times. Good times. Got a lot of summer in the last couple of days here.
That's right. Supposedly today is the last day of summer, right? Is Labor Day?
Not the last day of summer. It's the last ditch effort for summer.
The last
Still
ditch
20.
effort?
Yeah, last ditch effort to do all the barbecuing and.
Oh, okay, right.
I went to the air show this weekend.
Ah, yeah, nice.
That was cool.
Nice. I saw some pictures of that. That looks
Yeah,
cool. I'm sure your son enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, it was fun. I mean, it's loud.
Yeah, dude. I remember. Yeah, I went maybe 3 years ago.
Didn't we go?
Oh yeah, that was you. That was
Yeah, you and the kids. Your kids.
That was probably 3 years
my
ago,
son.
right?
Yeah, before COVID.
Yeah, man. Just COVID taking everybody down.
Yeah.
But hey, we got a fun show today.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of questions for Jim. We'll tell some stories. Even got a game to play. I haven't prepped Jim on any of this.
A game?
A game, yeah. We're going to see how that works out. It's just something I came up with in my head, but Jim knows nothing about this. We're just going into it blind. But before we do that, tell us a little bit about how things have been going.
Well, it's been busy. Been cutting hair a lot. I've been nonstop cutting hair. Basically, as I was explaining before, I had the mask mandate was lifted in the state of Ohio. I'm sure around basically the country. But when it was lifted, we had nonstop.
Everybody's just coming in?
Oh my God, crazy. Just because, they haven't been out in a long time and finally getting haircuts, and it's like, back to school, summer haircuts. It's been nuts. It's been crazy. It's all I do is cut hair.
I bet. Do you enjoy it?
I do. Yeah, it's great. I mean,
Good.
it's my own shop. I mean, you see how we have a pretty awesome shop. I mean, it's pretty big, and I just got some. A couple weeks ago, I got some Sonos speakers, and I had them set up in the shop, and I pretty much play music all day because I don't play the news. I put on Sports Center or actually NFL, the network. We watch that all day because I just don't want to hear anybody.
And you usually have I don't know, what do you have in there? A Spotify or Pandora going?
Spotify
or something like that,
going, and then I have a Sirius Radio, which is awesome. So.
Yeah, well, proud of you, man. I remember, for years you always talked about that after the band, you would, you wanted to open up your own shop, and now you got the biggest barbershop I've ever seen.
It's definitely
it's huge. It's nice in there. It's cool.
Most people's barbershops, they're very small, and this one is triple the size. So.
The only thing that I don't like about it is that it should be called LaMarca's. I know you're honoring your old boss that brought you up, or something.
Well, that's funny and interesting because we were going over names, and I did say, well, it is going to be my barbershop. We'll call it LaMarca's Barbershop. But the thing is, I have cousins that have LaMarca's Barbershop. My grandfather's barbershop was LaMarca's Barbershop. And it was just like, we stay away from that, let's go to...
Keep your name out of it in case there's any trouble.
Yeah, you never know, But the thing is, I wanted to kind of go with the... we wanted to, honor Carl, and we had to name it after him. And, it's funny because guys will come in and be like, I'll wait for Seidel. And I'm like, okay, I'm not Seidel, but they think I am. It's great.
Oh, really? They call you Seidel?
Yeah, because they think that's my
Jim
last...
Seidel.
Yeah, well, yeah. This guy, Pierre, that worked for me, he actually moved to Canada. He always called me Jim Seidel.
Jim Seidel.
Yeah.
So Seidel's Barbershop in the great Medina, Ohio. If you want to come get your hair cut by the legend here, you can do so. He's been cutting mine for years. How do you guys think it looks?
Yeah. We've been working on this.
Yeah, we work on
TV show host haircut look.
So let's get into some questions here.
Sure.
These
are just from the internet, kids?
These are from me, actually.
Oh, cool.
I was gonna reach out and collect some questions, but I just decided, this time I'm gonna ask the questions.
Yeah. You know me personally.
I do.
Yeah.
But I don't really know the answers to these questions, so.
Okay, this is good.
Yeah, All right, here, first one. What was the first big concert you ever attended?
The first actual concert I've been to was Motley Crue.
Motley Crue.
Dr. Feelgood
Dr.
tour.
Feelgood tour.
Yeah.
Oh, man. My favorite album.
Yeah, I mean, I never really was a big Motley Crue fan. My cousin, she loved Motley Crue, and I was just like, I don't know, whatever. But I did like those songs, Smoking in the Boys' Room, and at the time I didn't know it was a cover song, but I couldn't wait to see that song.
Is that on Theater of Pain, or is that on... or is it on Dr. Feelgood?
No, it's not on Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah.
It was when I was real young and it came out. But I went to see that concert, and I forget what year it was, but that was the first concert I saw, and it was awesome, like at the Coliseum.
And what effect did that have on you as a young, budding musician? Assuming you probably was playing bass by that time.
No,
right,
I was playing guitar.
Guitar? Okay,
yeah, but I sucked. I still do, but that was I sucked really bad back then. But the thing is, what I liked about being at that concert was seeing the crowd and like just seeing the lights and like I was like, holy, this is awesome. This is like this is cool. Like I don't know how this is gonna work, but someday I'd like to do that.
Okay, so it had that effect on you. I want to do that.
Yeah, because we were playing guitar and I was like getting into bands, and I quit playing baseball at the time because I was like, and then I got older and I was just like whatever, and then I wanted to play music, and then that was kind of like the turning point, you know, like listening to all those heavy bands, and I was like, at that time I was like Motley Crue. I'm like, they're a bunch of posers. I'm like, whatever. I'll go see the concert. You know, my neighbors they had tickets and they took me, and I was like. It was just cool to be at the concert, but at the same time, I was like, it's not the band I wanted to see for my first concert. But as I've gotten older, a lot of the bands that I couldn't stand and I was kind of against back in the day, I've turned to liking them quite a bit now. Like Motley Crue is one of them, and that movie, The Dirt, I said to myself, that's a great movie. It was done right. I thought it was perfect. You know, and I like them better because of that. You know, and I do like their music.
I feel that whole way about the grunge scene. Like when that came out, I hated it. All that because of kind of what it was doing to metal. But now, of course, I love all those.
Well, Nirvana was like one of those bands I couldn't stand. But like, you know, when we were in high school, we were playing their songs because they're really easy to play. And I was like, well, these are fun to play. Like there's some open chord stuff, and I'm like, you know.
So speaking of that, what about your first show then?
My first concert?
So you started getting into that stuff. Like, what was your first show? Where was it at? What was it like?
Flashes.
And that was in Lakewood, you said, right?
Yeah.
I never saw that venue.
Well, wait a minute though. Like I don't know. I can't think now because it's kind of running together in my head. But
are you playing guitar at the time?
I was playing guitar at the time, rhythm. Yeah. I did some leads, but you know what we were saying? I'm like, Ed, you're probably better off doing this. I'll stick back and just do the rhythm stuff. You know. Remember Ed?
Remember that lead you did in the Resurrection video? Like maybe it was like No Reason to Live or something. You got an opportunity, and we just laughed afterwards because it was pretty good. You know, and you're just totally winging it.
So I actually, funny mention leads. I wrote 12 songs like recently in the last year, like for a record that I wanted to put together and whatnot. You know, I bought a guitar the same day that Eddie Van Halen died. Didn't know he was dying. I mean, I heard he was sick, whatever. But the day he died, I actually left the barbershop, went and bought the guitar. And when I got back, by the time I got back, the news had already spread. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, this is crazy. And I actually bought, it's like not a Les Paul, but it's a, what do you call that?
Epiphone?
Epiphone Les Paul. Like, you know, it's a studio model, whatever. It's nice. But I had no idea he died. And I bought that guitar and I literally wrote like 12 songs and did a whole bunch of stuff with it. And all the songs that I wrote, I had to do leads. And I'm like, man, I'm like, well, whatever. I'll give it a shot, and I did it, and I'm like, you know, like, at least if I were to put this band together and I had a lead guitar player, I have everything kind of based off of that, and they can kind of hear it and, like, make it better.
I think that happens in bands sometimes where you just need to fill a role. Somebody's got to play leads. All right, he'll play leads. We need a drummer. I could try playing drums, or just, you know, when you're young, you know, just... You got to make happen whatever you can make happen.
I mean, I did everything. Just did everything on there because I had nobody else was in the house.
Right.
Because of the pandemic stuff, you know.
Pandemic.
So, yeah.
You're talking about your stuff now.
Yeah.
With the material you're working on. So you played everything.
I played everything. Drums. Okay. I did all the drum stuff. I took the Andy Sneap drum samples. I used all the, you know, kick drums, snare, all that stuff.
Back to
questions.
You know, your band, your bands in high school and all that. You know, you were playing in bands. You were playing with Ben Schigel a lot. You were a producer and stuff like that. But tell us about your decision to join Chimaira. Like, so probably like 99, 2000, Mark called you because our original bass player was leaving. And what was that conversation like? What was the decision like for you to join the band? And then even to what was like the first time you came down to the practice spot, like just that coming.
Well, here's my memories. This is cool. I have a CD that I have, and it's in my iTunes, and it's called The Apartment Cruiser. And I had all the songs that I was doing with Switched at the time, that I wrote, that I was part of before I joined Chimaira. And then I had Dead Inside, Taste My, and whatever else we did on that CD. So the beginning of that was when he called, and I was like, okay, you know, I'm like, he wanted me to come down to the studio, and we went to Mars recording studio, and we did that Cleveland compilation song for the.
So you haven't joined the band yet at that time?
Not at that time, no. And I came down to record because I don't know if AE left or
he was going away to college.
Yeah, he was going away to college, and you guys need. I don't know what the hell was going on. I just got asked to come down to track the song.
Oh, we had Rob Lesniak maybe after a...
Correct.
Yeah, the dude from Nunslaughter.
Right.
So maybe things.
I don't know what happened with that.
Yeah. We kind of had a falling out with him, I believe, and then that's why.
Yeah.
I think we had wanted you for a long time, but you were busy with Switch.
I was playing with Switch basically,
right.
And I was like, basically that was an interesting thing because going back to that CD, they were writing songs that became on their Subject to Change record, and I was like, I'm listening to those songs, and I'm like listening to, Taste My and Dead Inside, and I'm like, and then I'm like, I know this stuff. It was a vibe. There was something there. I was like, ah. And I'd listen to that CD. I was working in Strong's at the barbershop in Strong's, and I'd drive up and down 82, and I'd listen to that CD. I'm like, and I'd take a cruise and just go around and like listen to these songs, and I'm like, I get to the Chimaira songs, and I'm like, and there was just an energy feeling like of something that like I wasn't feeling with that other stuff, because at that time with being in Switch, we were already a band for 5 years, and we did a record and it cost all this money. We put $20,000.
So you're saying you were heavily devoted to Switch and everything that was going on,
right.
But you started hearing these Chimaira demos. Then Mark was saying, join
and then
the
coming
band,
down and doing the studio stuff.
You were driving around listening to that, making a decision on that.
And it was just like, I'm like, I mean, like, this is it. And then I actually broke up with an ex-girlfriend, and I was like, I'm ready. I'm ready to like just fly right now.
For a change?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So what would you say is your biggest, what you'd consider to be your biggest achievement from everything that happened to us in the band, and from that decision you made then to carry it through to the end? What are you most proud of that you took away from that experience that we were so lucky to
the fans
live?
The fans are the ones, and going back to not having your friends come to the show.
Right, because that sounds cliche, but it's really the truth. Like, because at the very beginning,
it's an addiction.
It's your friends and family, but then to have that,
right, it's an addiction. It's like, I look at it as like, I didn't have to do the work to get people to come out to the show, because believe me, like when you get the fans, like they come to your show, like that work becomes easier. It's like the balance kind of changes a little bit. It's like, okay, you just put your name on the marquee, they're going to come to see your band play. It took a long time to get that way, though.
Right, but
that sucked.
Let me tell you something. You never stopped promoting, though, because something even as simple as we'd be at a restaurant, me and you, before the show or something. We'd be at some Italian restaurant, and the waitress was cute or something. You'd let her know we're playing, and next thing you'd see her at the show. Some bus boys, you could tell they're into metal. Hey, yeah, my band's playing over here at the thing tonight. Come on down. Next thing you know, all those guys would be at the show. Whatever.
And I just did it yesterday. I stopped in Middleburg Heights at a Capri Pizza over there. I stopped over there because I heard some customers telling me about that pizza. It's really good pizza. I'm like, this kid in there, he's got a metal shirt on. I'm like, okay. I go, what Cleveland bands do you like? He's like, some like, Salt the Douche or something. I don't know what the hell his band.
Salt the Douche.
I don't know. There's one band. I don't know what he said. I was like, okay. I said, okay, cool. Like, what other older bands you listen to? I go, he goes, he's like, nothing really from Cleveland, just mostly. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go, in my head, I'm like, okay, I got this guy. I go, here. It's great for me now. Because back in the day, I remember being in Times Square playing Not So Blah a CD and putting people's headsets on, like having them hear our music. It's like, here, we're on Spotify. It was super easy. He's like, okay. He's like, oh, the record comes out in 2003. He's like, there's a lot of great music that came out back then, this kid said. I go, yeah, check it out. And I'm like, that. Our best record was The Impossibility of Reason. Check it out. And he started playing it in there. I'm like, there's no customers in there. I'm like, cool. like.
Yeah, so you're still
right there, still promoting, still doing it, like after all these years. And it's like,
and you don't see a dime from that.
I don't care. The money,
that's what I mean. That's
money
awesome.
doesn't matter to me when it comes down to that, because it's not about. It's not about making money. I can make money cutting hair every day. It's not my money is not the issue. Is gaining someone that will love the music. Now that guy right now is gonna be like, holy! He's like, look at all this whole catalog. Oh my god!
Yeah.
It's
a body of work.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's just awesome that's right on the guy's phone.
Right. All that time, can you think of one thing that you would consider to be the coolest thing that happened, or the coolest thing you saw, or the experience you had? If you had to, tell your grandchild or something one day, the coolest thing from being on the road, what would it have been?
Can you pause it?
For what?
Because I want to tell you like this one. No, just kidding.
I don't have to pause that. I'll just cut it out.
I'm kidding. I'm not. No, anyways, no. Okay, so that's a good question.
Yeah.
top 3, because it's hard to just kind of boil it down to one.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Give us 3.
I'll say Ozfest was number 1.
Okay, yeah.
Touring with Slipknot was probably number 2, and then the arena tour with with Disturbed. Those were
Slayer.
Slayer. That's at a different level. That's one of my favorite bands ever, and that was a dream come true. Like when we did that tour, I didn't ever have to do anything ever else again. If we just would have went home, I was like, yeah, whatever. We tore Slayer. Bye bye. Yeah. I got that story for the rest of my life. But that's different. These are like Ozfest was like, okay, the big festival thing, like then the arena thing, and that Slipknot tour was like a band like Metallica was my band, Slipknot was the next generation like big band, and that was good to like be on that tour to see that band as they were blowing up even more, you know. Excuse me, but
definitely cool to be a part of.
Those 3, Slayer obviously is a whole nother ballgame. That's like totally. That's different. That's not even the same. That's like you can't even put that in a category. That's its own thing.
It is.
And we did well with Slayer. I think I'm very proud that we got up there. You know, people spitting. I remember one time this guy spit at Mark, and I threw my water bottle and was like, "What are you doing?" I mean, dude, have respect, you pieces of crap. I mean, you know, like
you don't have to like it. You can flip them off.
Yeah, I know, but I remember hearing Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains.
They had a tough time, yeah.
Yeah, but he said they had a tough time, but he said, I guess he said to Monty or something like that, he said, tell the Chimaira guys not to worry about it. Alice in Chains tour with Slayer. It's like, we had I'm like, like, those are the kind of things that, like,
Oh, yeah, because Sean Kenny came out to that Seattle show. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, hung out with him. Yeah, he was cool. He was way cool. Yeah. And I didn't even know who he was at first. I thought it was just, like, some long-haired car salesman. I don't know. I know, he's a nice guy.
He's the drummer of Alice in Chains.
Yeah, no, he was cool. Anyways, yeah. Question number 3.
All right. Hey, yeah. One more before we're going to switch gears here. But so if you had to go out today and you could put together the perfect bass rig, we're going to do another Slayer tour or something like that, and money's no issue. Whatever you want, you put together the perfect bass rig. What would you like to play?
Probably the Ampeg. I always liked my Ampeg, my SVT4 head, the 4 Pro head. That was my favorite head, and I traded it into them to get the 2 SVT5s.
I remember that, yeah.
And I got both of them. They're just not the same. They took that. I should have never done that, but like I was like, well, Ampegs, that's cool. I get an artist thing, whatever. I will always say that PV though, like my PV rig was always awesome. That was on point. I still love my PV rig. Obviously, if I'm gonna play, but my Ampeg stuff that I bought way before we ever signed, that stuff was like. That and my heart key stuff was great. I used to love it. I used to have heart key stuff, and that was fun that was a fun time, of playing, Yeah.
What bass would you play though?
I think if I could, no money was, I'd have like an arsenal of Music Mans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or ESPs if you want to throw some, check it out.
So I'm just kidding. The ESPs were great for you, but I feel like ESP was more of a Chimaira endorser, where PV came along and wanted to work specifically with you, and
with
you
Dave
saw
Ellefson.
that.
And Dave Ellefson was a very big influence on me growing up, and he came into the picture and he basically said, "No, man, try." Actually, it was Paul from Slipknot too. Paul was like, "You got to try these PV things." I'm like, "Dude." I'm like, I played PV growing up. He's like, "Dude, they got. I'll hook you up. I'll hook you up with Dave Ellefson." I go, "Dave Ellefson?"
Yeah.
I go, "From Megadeth?"
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's like their PR guy. I go, "I'm in, dude."
Yeah.
And Dave was great.
That was a great
awesome.
opportunity. He was the best, yeah.
And it was awesome to have all that stuff. And I'll never forget, he came to the show in Arizona, Phoenix, and he brought me a cabinet. I'm like, I'm helping him bring it down. He's bringing it out of his car. I'm like, this is insane. Like, this is so cool. Like, just the fact that he's there bringing me this stuff, but the fact that it's him.
I know.
And I'm like, dude, So it was very cool to have, that whole experience as what it was. It was like amazing, It's
just a real cool opportunity. So
yeah. So
I don't blame you in the slightest.
But yeah, I want to pedal that switches all,
Speaking of making sound.
Yeah.
This next segment, what do you think about playing some bass for us?
Sure. What do you want to play?
You got one right next to you there.
Yeah.
We were speaking ESP basses there.
Yeah, this is a nice bass.
I just restrung that up yesterday.
Have we played with this one?
I don't think so. You can plug in right there. It should be ready to.
Is it ready? Already to go?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh shit! Is my face turned red by bending over? Can you edit that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't like these camera angles. They're really, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Like I feel like That's not what I look like.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, a little skip line. Sweet that was your go-to riff. No, I was gonna sing it.
The fast part. You should have tuned this before we did this.
It is tuned. I did tune it. Come on. So check this out. I don't know. I mean, if you want to warm up.
Wait a minute. Are you setting me up like you could tell? Like you're setting me up like, all right, we're gonna go over these riffs now.
That'd have been a good idea, but it's a little something different. Okay. I think you're gonna enjoy this, or it could totally backfire.
It's fine.
You ready?
Yeah.
Check this out. In this segment, what we're gonna do is play a little game, and
play Resurrection.
I'm gonna mention something, or say something, and without using words, I want you to play the first thing that comes to mind after what I say. It could be an emotion, how you feel. You'll get it without using words. Okay. Could be anything. So, first one's easy. The first riff or bass line that you ever learned to play.
See, I play guitar. Man, let me think now. That's a tough one. I got to think. Hold on, let me think. This is good though. I like this.
Not off to the best start since I said no words, but it's okay.
No words?
You were giving a little disclaimer there.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay, I have to think. I can't think what we.
All right. Well, I thought you were gonna do the do, which is probably not the first thing you ever learned. Yeah, I always love that. Nice.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, I was thinking of something like that I played like from a band back in the day. I don't know, I can't think of that, but I won't say any words then.
So you have to. So now it might get a little bit tougher because I'm just gonna say like a person's name or something, and I just want you to play what you hear, what it makes you feel.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Gene Simmons. Is it The Mask? Okay.
I don't know.
Ready?
This is cool. This is like putting me on the spot, but go ahead. Let's do another person. But let me try. I don't know any really Kiss riffs though. I don't play Kiss riffs though.
Okay, then we'll switch it up. Ready?
Okay, yeah.
A large pepperoni and extra cheese pizza.
Tastes so good. My belly. It's hot.
Good. All right. Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
I could eat to that.
Okay.
Andals.
Oh yeah.
Resurrection.
Yeah, I don't know why.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good one though.
Stig Murder.
Wait. Oh, I can't play that.
See, I didn't. You didn't even have to really play it. You could have done the like Matt always does.
Wait. I don't remember the 4. Oh, I can't.
Something like that.
I haven't practiced in a while, especially that song. But that would be a fun song to play though, like live.
Yeah, you think?
Right.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the.
You know what? What I look forward to. Because that song was not easy to play on bass, right? For me, it was difficult to play. And I struggled every time we played it. But I couldn't wait to the ending.
Or the ending?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it was like just a relief for my hand. Oh, thank God.
For anybody that doesn't know, that ending riff is heavily influenced, in fact, maybe borrowed from Cannibal Corpse's The Bleeding. That was my main inspiration. So for those that don't know, Jim never liked Stig Murder. And
probably one of the only songs.
The first song written for The Impossibility of Reason. So that set us off in that direction, but he's hated that song ever since.
I only hate it because it's just like the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, really? I have to play that?
This is what we're doing?
Seriously, I remember this song.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Real smooth. But...
Hey.
I was supposed to go to hit.
Something like that.
Would you want to go over that real quick?
Yeah, well, yeah.
But yeah, I remember just getting to the end of that song, I was like, oh, thank God, it's over. But like, I mean, and I always wondered too, like thinking about like songs like that, like with the crowd, I'm like, man, I mean, it's so heavy. I'm like, I remember just seeing people just like just looking at us. Like, I mean, they liked the song, but like, it was like just flooring them because it's such a heavy song. And it was just like, it's just punching you in the face the whole time. It's almost the only thing you can do is just watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Kind of a ripper out the gates. Yeah.
Yeah. Heavy, fast, and like trying to keep up with your head and just like keep it like, oh yeah, a lot of work on that song. I sweated a lot in that song.
Yeah. Well, it shows.
But Gene Simmons, I don't know.
Yeah, you got another one? That's Gene Simmons? All right. All right. What comes to mind when you hear the word Afghanistan?
I get angry. I don't even bring that up.
Okay, here. See if this one gets you angry. How about?
Is that still going?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Notes don't matter nothing.
Never liked that song.
You never liked that one?
No, I never really was a part of that song. I don't even know how it goes.
Best melody we ever had.
Yeah. It really doesn't matter because it's like when you're playing bass and it's just like stigma. Like I'll never forget we'd be playing like on stage, and where that song comes into play, notes don't matter nothing, right? When that song comes into play is like I'd be playing, like I could just go like this, like it doesn't even matter. I can't even hear myself. Everything's just loud.
What do you
mushy.
mean? We played it live?
Yeah.
What?
Not that song live. Like if we were playing a song, like there'd be points like I couldn't even hear myself. Like it's just like it's like that's all I hear, and I'm like, but I learned because monitors, you guys would hog the monitor sound, and you guys never wanted bass on the stage. But here's what I learned: that if I stood up to the front of like by this edge of the stage, which would be out of the lighting, because I remember Brian one time telling me he's like, yeah, you should probably stand back more. I'm like, oh, I can't fucking hear myself, man. I gotta hear myself. So I would be up in the front and I could feel the bass from the stage, and I could just feel it. I was like, that was like the power. Like I had to find that medium, that on the stage where I could feel myself and hear myself, like
you gotta be able to hear yourself. Yeah. For the record, I don't remember ever saying that I didn't want bass on stage.
No. It's just, I mean, like,
sometimes in practice you were a bit loud, but we were always competing.
But I love to have that bass sound. Like, see, the thing is, like, when we played stuff with, like, Not So Blah, okay, like...
Yeah.
Like, really,
yeah.
Easy notes, like, following the kick drum. Like, playing, like, the heavy stuff was, like... And trying to create that tone. And it's so weird for me, as I've gotten older, I've gotten better at playing, which is so weird. Like, for me, like, playing those songs, like, like, practicing and us practicing together, and especially, like, I'll never forget, like, I used to, every day on Sounds of the Underground, I'd be, like, just like, we're going to practice now, I'd be outside, like, But...
We were on Sounds of the Underground, that's right.
We were outside practicing in a trailer with our practice amps, sweating, everyone's partying, I'm like... Okay,
probably
fine.
my idea, right?
It's okay, though. Because of those moments now, I respect what we did, because now I'm a way better musician. Unfortunately, I'm too old to be touring and doing all that crap. And I shouldn't say too old to be touring, but I'm better now. I know I'm better now. And it sucks because I think what I was trying to say back in the day, or like before was back in the day, I was just worried about the crowd and getting that energy from the crowd and that addiction to the live energy. That was more important than practicing, because we're already there. Like, what the hell? But then we get home from practice, Rob would be like, we get home on from a tour, like let's just say a Saturday or something, I don't know, whatever day it was. All right, see you guys Monday. And we've been practicing, and I'm like, okay. But as much as I hated that, I got to do that for a living. I didn't hate my job, but I like the repetitiveness of like just keep on going. Like I was like, okay, but then I forget what band said, they're like, someone said we were like, I was just a well-oiled machine. I was like, well, okay, I get it. We worked our asses off, and we did it for the period of time that we did it for. Like, we lived it and breathed it and ate it and slept with it. You know what I mean? It was like, it was there, and that was more important now that I could just pick up and play. Like, I was just watching a Keith Richards interview, and he was just like, he's like, do you practice? He's like, I don't practice. He's like, do you ever, I think it was Howard Stern was asking him, or I forget who's interviewing him, but, guy's 70-some years old, and he's like, yeah, I just pick up and play.
Right.
It's like, it's something you can do, and it's awesome. Like, I really feel like, if we did a show, like when we played that last show, the reunion show, like I practiced for 4 months straight to make sure I didn't hit anything wrong. And I made sure of that, and I did. And I didn't hit, I didn't hit anything that, in my opinion, I played that night perfectly because I practiced, and I practiced, and I practiced. And I worried more about that than literally everything else because I wanted it to be good, I wanted it to sound good, and it took a long time to get to the point where we were going to do this, and I did it for myself. So things turn around, they change, you get different with it, think about it. We got to, you had to let loose. We didn't have to let loose. I let loose and just enjoyed it for a couple of years. Like in the beginning, I was like, all right, I'm not working anymore. I'm not cutting hair every day. I'm out here enjoying this. This is great, Wait, what song did you want me to play?
No, you did great. That was it. I don't have any more, to inspire vibes. You can jam anything you like, but no, you're right. See, I just pick up and play too, unless I have something specific to practice for. So I practiced a lot for the Christmas show as well, just going over the songs, and it paid off because you were confident playing, right?
Yeah. Oh, I was 100%. I was confident in us from the start of that reunion show. When I mean like the start of it, I was like, I knew that when we were going into this show, I remember saying, okay, I got to practice. We got to do all this other stuff. It's a show. Everything has to be done, Everything has to be done right. And to be honest with you, like, it was a perfect night. Everything, to me, went perfect, even though the beginning of the week, when everybody started coming into town, I was just like, oh boy.
Yeah,
like, it was
crazy.
Rough. Yeah, rough.
But you hadn't played with Chimaira for 7 years, right?
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but it was fun, and I enjoyed every minute of it. In fact, unfortunately, the only thing I didn't enjoy was after the show. I had a bunch of friends there, and I didn't get to see it. And I was like, damn, I wish I would have been able to hang.
Oh, and it was a treacherous snowstorm as well.
Yeah,
I think everybody was worried about that, just even getting home.
I know.
And stuff.
I know.
And all the people that couldn't even make it because of the snow. That's crazy.
Yeah. I was about to just, I was ready. I'm like, everybody's gone. I'm like, okay, whatever. So, but yeah.
Right on.
I like always throwing those weird notes in there, Those dissonant notes.
Yeah.
Anyways.
A couple of them sound good every once in a while, like in practice.
Yeah, like I remember watching a thing about Eddie Van Halen. Someone asked him and said, like when you do something like that in the studio, he's like, hey, sometimes it's just magic. He's like, sometimes I'll never be able to recreate that. It's just, it is what it is when
in the moment, for sure.
Yeah.
I just heard Bob Rock on an interview this morning talking about how, the best moments just happen out of the blue organically, in the studio sometimes. And when you're in the studio, you're lucky that if the tape's rolling,
right.
And you get it.
Right.
And that's how those magic takes happen sometimes.
And we had some magic in our studio stuff, It was
a lot of good times.
Yeah, I definitely, I think now that I look back on the 10 years of doing all that, like my 10 years in the band, I will say that the recording process was always my favorite, even though it was a lot of, it was awesome after everything was done and the first mixes, and I'd listen to it. I'd go on my cruises, I always go on a cruise. That's like my thing, like just go on a cruise.
Just driving around, not like a boat.
Yeah.
Not a cruise.
No, not a cruise.
Go on a cruise ship to check out the mixes.
Yeah.
Take
my yacht out.
Yeah.
No, I just love to take a cruise. Like even now, like with my music that I work on, I'm like, I have it on my phone, and I'll get in my car, and I'll my parents live way on the other side of town, so like it's at least a 45-50 minute drive to get to their house or my son,
Mm-hmm.
So I'll listen. I got plenty of time to listen to stuff,
Right.
I love it.
Good. All right, we got one more segment here, and I'm just calling it the quick fire round. Okay?
Sure.
So sure, whatever.
Okay.
If you're more comfortable with it.
Yeah, I like it.
In case mood strikes, you can just turn it on and rip.
It hides a lot of stuff. Like, I just don't like, am I looking at this camera, like my legs, I'm like, they don't look like that in real life. Just to let you ladies know that.
You know what they say about the camera, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of pounds.
It adds 30, 40 pounds, they say.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And I'm doing about 50 right now. It sucks.
All right, so, yeah, I mean, if bass comes up, by all means. So just a quick fire thing, though. Try to answer with with one word or so, or unless you need to explain something or whatever. So
okay,
here we go. Favorite meal of the day?
Lunch.
Money or fame?
Money.
While in Las Vegas, blackjack or buffets?
Buffets. Can I explain that one?
Sure.
So when I left the band, I started working at the barbershop in Solon, and Jimmy from the barbershop in Solon always said, he's like, the way you describe buffets, he's like, you should write a book. I said, why? He's like, because you just know what you're doing. I go, yeah. It took me a long time to get to the point with a buffet of learning the culture of a buffet. It's an American thing. I just bread. You don't need bread. Salad, you need some greenery, okay? The reason why you need some greenery is because you're gonna have to digest this stuff eventually, okay? So the greenery helps out. A good salad, tons of cheese, tons of ranch dressing. The healthy salad, right. People that, the skinny people eat. What was I gonna say about the next? So I start off with, like, if you're gonna go to a Vegas buffet, you start off with all you can eat crab legs. Or shrimp. Whatever they got. If it's just shrimp, grab a bunch of that. And then I'll grab, like, shrimp, crab legs, and either have
the prime rib.
Rib, yeah, some kind of steak, whatever. And then the second round, you go for a pasta, a couple things of pasta. You want to, like, get the carbs in there, but not a lot of them. But, like, you're like, oh, man, that looks good. I'll take that. I'll try that. Or, and then you want to get a couple vegetables, like, like sometimes I have, like, broccoli, like, I'll eat one or something, but take 20, because you got to take advantage of that. Because they're charging you $50, I'm going to take that money out of that place, okay? They're going to lose money on me.
Take them for all their work.
Yeah, exactly. 50, they see me come in there, they're just like, shit. Anyways.
The last buffet I was at? I just thought of this now. The last buffet I was at was with you.
Where? The wedding?
We went to the
Wynn buffet?
The Jack buffet downtown before Metallica.
That ruined my night.
The buffet?
Yeah, I ate way too much. Because if you remember, that heavier lady was sitting next to me. I couldn't sit there. I was like, because it was you in the middle of me and my brother.
We had our own table.
No, I'm talking about at the concert.
Oh.
And then I left.
I pictured at the buffet like somebody's too close to you at another table or something.
No, I'm talking about the concert. Like,
okay.
I'm either going to the concert, and I'm sitting at the concert, I'm like, I'm miserable, and this heavy lady had her arm over on this thing, and I wanted to, like, just elbow her off, but I'm like, get away, man. And I couldn't. So I went into that one area, and I said, hey, my back's killing me. I've been working all day, and they put me next to the handicap section, which I was like, this is great. My own seat next to nobody. It's perfect.
Nice.
Good
time.
Yeah, anyway.
What do you think that was, 19, 20? It had to be 19.
Yeah, it was right before all this pandemic stuff. Panda, sorry.
All right. 4-string or 5-string basses?
4 strings.
Blondes or brunettes? Or redheads?
How about all 3?
Okay.
I don't discriminate against hair color.
Piggybacking on that, video games or chicks?
Video games.
You remember, you've already stated that.
Already stated that. Let me just tell you this much. Yeah. I'd rather play video games than hang out with some dumb broad, okay? That's all I gotta say. Video games because, let me elaborate on that. We want to talk about the Xbox, new Xbox that I got?
Sure, let us listen.
So the new Xbox, man, yeah. It's the best girlfriend I've ever had.
All right. Favorite country you visited outside of the U.S.?
Australia.
Australia, okay.
Australia.
Playing smaller, more intimate shows or bigger festival arena shows type things?
Big festival arena shows.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Sweet or savory?
Savory. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could wake up tomorrow anywhere other than your own bed, where would it be?
I use a CPAP machine, so not too far away from that. Maybe my couch.
Okay.
I mean, you don't understand unless. I'm a CPAP guy for 8 years now. 8 years I've been on a CPAP machine, and my life is 1,000 times better. But I can't sleep without it.
Chicks dig that though, right?
Oh yeah, I'm like, hey honey, you want to share my hose? It's bad. It's just like, I don't know. It's so weird. But anyways, yeah, that's a tough question. But my couch.
Well, let's say, because you're, I don't know if I can cut this out if you don't want me to say it, but you're a single guy, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you get yourself on the dating market or whatever, and you meet up with the chick or whatever. She asks you back to her place. What do you do? Can you sleep without it one night? If you had to?
Well, first of all, I haven't had that happen. So if it does happen,
or do you have it in your trunk? You're just
no, it's in my car. It's right next to my bed. I just be like, "What is it?" I'm like, "It's a Hyatt. It's an advanced alarm clock."
I have to hook up to myself to make sure it wakes me up in the morning.
It's like, you ever seen Star Wars? Yeah, well, that's me, Darth. I don't know. You know what? This whole pandemic thing has just been, and for being single, it's like the worst. Like I don't go anywhere. I don't go on dates. I don't do anything. I do work a lot, so I don't really have the time. And like if people want to date, they want to go out on the weekends. I don't have the weekends to go out. I have a week with my son. I spend every minute of my weekends with my son. So it's very, that whole dating thing. I haven't come up to that point, but like I'm obviously a jokester. So if I ever had somebody like, yeah, listen, I'm gonna turn over. I don't know if you want to snuggle, but I'm gonna have this hose on me all night, okay? I look like a friggin' elephant, like, whatever. Yeah. It's just, it is what it is, okay? You hooked up with a 47-year-old guy. This is what you get.
Hey, you're comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah, I don't care.
You know what you want.
Yeah.
Nothing to worry about. All right.
Want to hit?
I like it. Yeah.
I have a CPAP cleaner machine, dude. It's great. Okay. It cleans it all out. It sterilizes it. I don't share anything anymore. What are you gonna share? Like drinks?
Probably not.
Yeah, not with all this shit going on.
All right. If you could own any car, what would it be?
If I could own any car, man, I love that new Vet.
Yeah, dude, those are sick. Those are crazy looking.
Yeah, that's a badass thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the new Vet would be like if I had to are you talking practical all year round? I mean.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
you gotta think about those things in Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland. I'm only driving that thing like around for the summer. That's it now.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, Vet. Right. I just walk to work. So I'm only 4 minutes from work, so I just walk, or somebody pick me up.
Yeah, but you got too much shit in your garage. You couldn't even put it in your garage,
Yeah, I'd have a storage unit.
Okay.
All
right. What's the best thing about being a barber?
You know what? It's a very the history of my family being a barber is it's an honor. Like my family. How do I put this? A lot of cousins of mine are barbers, and my grandfather was one, and he, his father died when he was like 13 years old, and he had to go work as a barber. Left high school, left school to go be a barber to help raise the rest of his family. So, sorry. Yeah, so he, my grandfather had the, had to raise his family that way. He was 13 years old, 14 years old, he started cutting hair. And I have a picture of him shaving a guy at my barbershop. Right when you walk in, it's on my bulletin board in that vestibule. It's a him shaving like a guy, and he's 14 years old. So, that whole thing for me is, it's, gosh, can I pause that real quick?
If you gotta take it, you gotta take it.
Hey, what's up? Okay, bye-bye.
Kids.
Well, yeah. Anyways.
That'll be perfect. I'm gonna segment that with, if you gotta take it, you gotta take it, and then I'll put an ad right there. So if we go to commercial, welcome back.
Perfect.
No. So basically, you please continue, but I think you're taking it that you like that you're fulfilling your family legacy. That you have a lot of barbers over many generations in your family. Right?
Yeah, and it's awesome to have my own business, and like having my own business, and it's a lot of stress that I never thought I would have. But the stress is, I get paid good money to stress about something. The stress that I have is it's hair. Once I'm done, I wipe everything off and I go home. Some of the other stuff I have to do at home is, like some of the extra stuff that I do, it's not that big of a deal. So I love it. I love doing it. And, and I've learned a lot since this pandemic. I've learned that I have a clean barbershop. Like I have had doctors and I've had nurses and I've had parents and everyone say your shop is clean. I mean, we work hard to make it clean and make it feel safe for everybody. I mean, I've done, what it is. Sure. Even now, it's like, even though that they've lifted this mask mandate, we still do everything to make people feel comfortable because.
Except for those empty Purell pumps in your bathroom, but I'm not.
Yeah, but they're all over the shop at the floor, though. I mean, there's plenty of them out there. But you know what? The thing is, it's a satisfying thing to do to make people look good.
Well, man, that was fun. We covered a lot.
Yeah, we did.
Got some bass playing in. You want to leave them with a line, or you want to no?
Let's go back to this.
What about big 6 slide? Yeah. Ooh, getting that speed in there.
Nah, I don't know. I do. You know what I do like practicing though? And this is what I do when I do practice on my acoustic bass. I do this one. I don't know if it's gonna sound good on here because it's too much. Well, I'm not practicing the right, but making sure all those notes. We do that practice
Sounds like you need to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks, few weeks since I played.
Keep practicing that.
Yeah.
So, hey, appreciate you coming by. Appreciate everybody watching. It was a
Rob
good time.
Arnold TV.
Happy to have you back. I want to do another one again with me, you, Mark, and Spakuza when he's in town. Maybe even Matt will be up here. I think that'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
Just a little round table. But we wanted to have Spakuza on for a long time. Good kid.
Good kid.
He lives far away. He's busy, though. But he comes into town every once in a while. We'll bring him on,
He was the model in the band.
Oh, yeah?
The best looking. I mean, I know you would probably argue with him, thinking that you are.
You don't think you're better looking?
Right? I'm in a different category. I'm a different category. But he was like that model type kid.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember I was like, yeah, you're a good kid.
Yeah, he modeled some of the shirts.
Yeah, the shirts and stuff. Then he modeled me, and I was like, he just can never get the right angle.
Oh. No, you looked pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
You looked pretty good.
Yeah.
No, well, so anyways, it's been fun. Everybody, make sure you go check out some of the past episodes. I had Mark on recently. I had Mark on a bunch of times. There's an Arnold's episode, a Matt episode. Like we said, gonna get Spakuza on here.
Yeah.
Who knows who else? It's gonna be fun. I want to talk to John Hall.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, so anyways, guys, appreciate everybody. If you made it this far, give the video a thumbs up. Come see us again. Thank you again to the man, Jim LaMarca.
Rob Arnold.
Cheers, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See you on the next one.